The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. In the depth of winter, I finally learned that there was in me an invincible summer. A man without ethics is a wild beast loosed upon this world. You will never be happy if you continue to search for what happiness consists of. You will never live if you are looking for the meaning of life. Nothing is more despicable than respect based on fear. You cannot create experience. You must undergo it. Without culture and the relative freedom it implies, society, even when perfect, is but a jungle. This is why any authentic creation is a gift to the future. A man's work is nothing but this slow trek to rediscover, through the detours of art, those 2 or 3 great and simple images in whose presence his heart first opened. Freedom is nothing but a chance to be better. Every act of rebellion expresses a nostalgia for innocence and an appeal to the essence of being. The absurd is the essential concept and the first truth. But what is happiness except the simple harmony between a man and the life he leads? Friendship often ends in love, but love and friendship never. Truth is mysterious, elusive, always to be conquered. Liberty is dangerous, as hard to live with as it is elating. We must march toward these 2 goals, painfully but resolutely, certain in advance of our failings on so long a road. The need to be right is the sign of a vulgar mind. Man is the only creature that refuses to be what he is. There is no love of life without despair of life. Without work, all life goes rotten. But when work is soulless, life stifles and dies. An intellectual is someone whose mind watches itself. Real generosity toward the future lies in giving all to the present. The only real progress lies in learning to be wrong all alone. In order to exist, man must rebel, but rebellion must respect the limits that it discovers in itself, limits where minds meet, and in meeting, begin to exist. Every great work makes the human face more admirable and richer, and that is its whole secret. It is not your paintings I like, it is your painting. There is no fate that cannot be surmounted by scorn. It is a kind of spiritual snobbery that makes people think they can be happy without money. We continue to shape our personality all our life. If we knew ourselves perfectly, we should die. Charm is a way of getting the answer yes without asking a clear question. I would rather live my life as if there's a God and die to find out there isn't, than live as if there isn't and to die to find out that there is. Men must live and create. Live to the point of tears. Beauty is unbearable, drives us to despair, offering us for a minute the glimpse of an eternity that we should like to stretch out over the whole of time. Nobody realizes that some people expend tremendous energy merely to be normal. Blessed are the hearts that can bend, they shall never be broken. Those who lack the courage will always find a philosophy to justify it. Autumn is a second spring when every leaf is a flower. To be happy we must not be too concerned with others. He who despairs of the human condition is a coward, but he who has hope for it is a fool. The struggle itself towards the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. The struggle itself towards the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. A free press can, of course. be good or bad, but, most certainly without freedom, the press will never be anything but bad. Basically, at the very bottom of life, which seduces us all, there is only absurdity, and more absurdity. And maybe that's what gives us our joy for living, because the only thing that can defeat absurdity is lucidity. Don't wait for the last judgment, it takes place every day. I know of only one duty, and that is to love. The gods had condemned Sisyphus to ceaselessly rolling a rock to the top of a mountain, whence the stone would fall back of its own weight. They had thought with some reason that there is no more dreadful punishment than futile and hopeless labor. The world is never quiet, even its silence eternally resounds with the same notes and vibrations which escape our ears. As for those that we perceive, they carry sounds to us, occasionally a chord, never a melody. To know oneself, one should assert oneself. Integrity has no need of rules. We get into the habit of living before acquiring the habit of thinking. In that race which daily hastens us towards death, the body maintains its irreparable lead. We get into the habit of living before acquiring the habit of thinking. In that race which daily hastens us towards death, the body maintains its irreparable lead. The evil that is in the world almost always comes of ignorance, and good intentions may do as much harm as malevolence if they lack understanding. Each generation doubtless feels called upon to reform the world. Mine knows that it will not reform it, but its task is perhaps even greater. It consists in preventing the world from destroying itself. It is necessary to fall in love, if only to provide an alibi for all the random despair you are going to feel anyway. All great deeds and all great thoughts have a ridiculous beginning. Great works are often born on a street corner or in a restaurant's revolving door. Alas, after a certain age every man is responsible for his face. No cause justifies the deaths of innocent people. Against eternal injustice, man must assert justice, and to protest against the universe of grief, he must create happiness. Without freedom, no art. Art lives only on the restraints it imposes on itself, and dies of all others. Truth, like light, blinds. Falsehood, on the contrary, is a beautiful twilight that enhances every object. We always deceive ourselves twice about the people we love, first to their advantage, then to their disadvantage. Every revolutionary ends up either by becoming an oppressor or a heretic. The welfare of the people in particular has always been the alibi of tyrants. The modern mind is in complete disarray. Knowledge has stretched itself to the point where neither the world nor our intelligence can find any foothold. It is a fact that we are suffering from nihilism.